Hey, it's Kristen Johnson Brogan, and I'm here in the kitchen today with my lovely mother, and I wanted to do a video with my mom because she truly is the one that changed my life, and she showed me what food and eating is all about. And most importantly, she showed me that there's so much more to food than just eating to lose weight or to be healthy, but food's an experience. It's meant to be enjoyed in every way. You don't have to give up those things you love, but food is love, and it's the best way to show love, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
So tell us just a little bit about what this recipe is. We're gonna make a recipe that's near and dear to our hearts, something that we grew up making ever since I can remember, Lebanese grape leaves. So just share a little bit about what this recipe means to you.
Well, this is definitely for special occasions. In every family event that I remember going to, this was the center of the whole menu. I come from a large Lebanese family. My mother had 10 siblings, and I have 48 first cousins, and whenever we got together, we had this. And it's, like I said, a labor of love. It takes a lot of people to put this together. First, you have to go find your secret place and pick these leaves, and you don't tell anybody where your spot is.
Secret.
I picked these out in my backyard area, and just a couple months ago when they were in season, in June that is. And
They're beautiful.
Yeah, they've turned out pretty. And then you just get a lot of helpers and you roll, and remember for your high school graduation, we did 2,000 of them.
We did 2,000. I remember we invited the neighbors and family and friends, and it was a whole event.
It was hilarious and fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
It really is a bonding experience. So this has a lot of memories and a lot of fun.
And food is the best way to show love and to share. And I just remember a lot of my most special memories growing up were with you in the kitchen. So let's get started.
Okay.
And just tell us kind of what we're starting with, and I'll be your sous chef today. How about that?
Well, we're going to roll about 100 grape leaves. So we have two
Just
pounds
100.
of ground beef. You can use ground beef, ground buffalo. You could probably do turkey or make it all vegetarian with beans and other combinations.
Nice.
Yep. But we have ground beef here, and we have a cup of rice, just original rice.
Throw it in.
You can throw that in.
So 2 pounds of ground beef.
And then our spices here, we've got 2 tablespoons of kosher salt and a teaspoon of black pepper. And then our secret combo ingredient of allspice and cinnamon.
So this is our special Lebanese spice blend, and we pretty much use it in every single Lebanese dish that we cook.
When you taste it, it just makes you feel like it
Just brings you back.
Yep. And then we have a stick and a half of butter cut up here that we're gonna massage.
Grass-fed butter. So the key is to use really quality ingredients really with anything. And when it comes to family recipes, there's some things that you just don't want to mess up. We've made this recipe without butter. We've made it a little bit healthier, but we only have grape leaves every so often that you gotta use.
do it the right way.
You gotta do it the right way. You gotta make it count.
All right, so Kristen, work that in.
So this is where you get down and dirty. This is the fun part.
You gotta really squeeze it together, and then we're gonna add water to moisten it. It'll be real mushy.
So you want it to be a mushy consistency.
Because the rice will soak up a lot of that water. So get that butter all incorporated in there. You can see I tell her what to do.
She's really good at that, actually. I do like being her sous chef. And there's
Hear my mom's voice in my ear, and I'm sure she'll hear mine when I'm long gone. So
even when you're not here, yes, I hear your words, the same things that you tell me over and over.
You made this pineapple upside down cake, and you had to make it by hand. You never used a beater, and you could only stir it one way. And I hear my mom telling me, only one way, only one way.
It's ingrained in your brain forever. You'll never forget it. It's a good thing. So do you remember times where you were in the kitchen with your mom and certain recipes?
It was always a crowd in the kitchen. Even my grandma, my teta, no matter when you were there, someone would walk in. She'd have food on the stove, and they'd walk in and expect, you know, there to be something great to eat. And my mom was the same way.
What is that about food? I mean, it's obviously the center of every occasion, and in your big family, it's kind of what brought you guys together, and there was always a meal on the table. But what's so special about food in the sense that it brings people together, but it's also a really satisfying experience when you feed people?
Well, it's memories, it's gatherings, it's your expression of love. You know, everybody has a different one, but that for sure was ours, and the way that we felt it and expressed it. And I know when Sean came around, he was great to feed because he loved everything.
My husband, Sean, loves coming here because he always gets a good meal.
Mix that in there.
And it's really nice to feed people that actually like to be fed and like to eat. So it is I think cooking in general is a really satisfying experience. I mean, the more time you spend cooking, the less time you spend eating, because it is so satisfying. The sense of smell and everything that goes into it is just worth it. So we have these fresh leaves, and we just had them in the freezer after you picked them, and then
you put them in front of you with the vein side up and the top of the leaf towards you.
Okay, so this vein side up.
A little finger length of meat in at the top of the leaf, and then you roll it up.
Don't forget the
And
sides.
you push the sides in because you want it totally sealed. You don't want that rice and meat to scoot out of there when it's cooking. And you just roll it up nice and tight. These are fresh ones, so they're a little stiffer.
Beautiful. Yum.
That's what you do.
Okay, let me try it. So it's like rolling a little cigar.
Some people make them fat, some people make them thin.
I like them fat. I like a lot of stuffing in there. I remember sitting around the table, rolling 2,000. How long did that take us?
It was most of the morning, maybe most of the day.
But when you have help, it's really fun. And that's the key thing, and that's truly what I've learned growing up is, you know, get your family in the kitchen, start them young, because then they're more likely to be able to cook for themselves and enjoy the process. And I think it's a family affair. It's so much more fun when you get people involved in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah, it makes the job much more fun.
Because cooking doesn't have to take a lot of time. It doesn't have to be time consuming. And actually, you know, when rates of home cooking go down, obesity goes up. So we know that it just, eat whatever you want as long as it's homemade. I mean, there may be butter and there may be a lot of things that go into your recipes, but it's homemade. It's from scratch. It's, you know, made with love and so many good things that go into it. So we're going to be rolling 100 or so grape leaves. And then we'll show the process once we roll them and how to cook them. And then of course we'll show how to eat them, because that is the best part. And when you put some work into the process, because you don't want to rush the process, it tastes that much better. Okay, now that we've rolled all the grape leaves, we have about 100 grape leaves. We laid them really tightly in a pot. And then we layered some grape leaves, just some extra grape leaves on the bottom of the pan so it doesn't burn. So we're gonna put in just some sliced lemons. And many times grape leaves called for citric acid to give it that really acidic kind of flavor, but we like to use everything fresh as we can. And this will add some really nice flavor. So slice up lemons. And then we're gonna just add some broth. So just some chicken broth to cover and really to help with the cooking process so they get nice and moist and the rice can cook. It already smells delicious. And then we'll put it over medium heat.
Simmer it for about 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Until the rice is tender.
And then we'll be able to eat.
Just a little bit more.
I want to make sure that we cover all of them. So just a little bit more broth. The broth smells good too.
That's good.
Okay. And then the trick here is to just put a plate over top. This will hold everything together so that when it does start to boil, the grape leaves don't unravel, and then they'll just all be perfectly cooked and we'll be able to eat them. Here we go. Grape leaves are finished. The house smells amazing. And you can see here, the finished product is just beautiful. So after we were done cooking these, we just put in a juice of 1 lemon. So it has that kind of tart, nice, delicious, fresh taste. And when you save these, you can actually take all the grape leaves out, put them in a baking dish, and then reserve the liquid. So when you go to cook them the next day or the day after, you can cook them in the broth, and you can just bake them 350 for about 10-15 minutes. And then you could also reserve them outside of the broth and put them in the freezer for a few months if you wanted to save them. So here we go. We got a taste test, our finished product. Cheers.
Good.
Good teamwork.
Perfect.
Just as I remember. So delicious. There's so many memories that goes along with this. There's so much more to food than just eating for weight loss or for better health. It's an experience. So thanks for joining me in the kitchen, Mom.
My pleasure.
Hopefully we inspired you guys to get in the kitchen, experiment a little bit, and make cooking a family affair.